Hi, I'm Joe from Sensopath channel. Today I'd like to talk about what HSP is. You may have been hearing the term HSP these days, which is short for highly sensitive person. Simply put, it refers to people who are very sensitive from birth. So if you've been feeling like life is overwhelming, hard to live, HSP just might be the underlying reason for all of this. The important first step is in finding out whether or not you're an HSP. And if you are, shaping your life in a way that aligns with your sensitive side can make things much more manageable and make life much more easier to live. So let's break it down to a simple 3-step and get familiar with what HSP actually is. So number 1, what is HSP? So HSP, or highly sensitive person, is not a personality, it's a temperament. And temperament means it's something you're born with. Think of it like people's height. Some people are tall, some people are short. Also, the color of the eye could be brown or blue. These are all things people are born with, and it's not something you can change or control. Sure, you may be able to change your personality a little over time, but HSP, the sensitivity, is something that's been there since birth. So it's important to understand that it's not something you can change by force. So it's not that you suddenly became an HSP one day, it's always been actually a part of you from a long time ago. There's a high chance you were extra sensitive even as a baby, like reacting strongly to light, sound, or changes in your environment. If you ask your parents, you could get a clue, I think. If they say you were sensitive as a baby, that might be a sign you're an HSP. It's something worth reflecting on. Number 2, what are the traits of HSP? So then comes the question, what kind of traits are typical of HSPs? Traits is like how you actually behave or react in everyday life. HSPs are often described as being very sensitive, and that's because we're biologically wired and born to be highly reactive to external stimuli. So HSPs release more chemicals in the brain when we encounter stimuli or a stressful situation. It's chemicals that make you nervous, anxious, and puts your guards up and be on high alert. Let's say, for example, someone nearby is yelling to somebody else. Even if it has nothing to do with you, just hearing that yelling can cause intense nervous or alarmed feeling inside. That's an HSP trait. Another common example is like when you walk into a room and you notice the clock's ticking sound. Someone who's not an HSP might hear the sound but will forget about it right away. But if you're an HSP, hearing that clock ticking, you might immediately start to think, why is it so loud? Is it broken? Can others hear it too? Why is it bothering me so much? And those thoughts come rushing in at once, all tangled up, and it becomes hard to focus. Like you notice things that you don't really even have to. That's the kind of mental load HSPs often carry. And that's why we get so exhausted fast. This can be especially challenging at work too. So you want to focus, but if a coworker is being scolded by a supervisor, just overhearing that causes stress. And then you start to worry about your coworker, like, should I check in on them? Are they okay? Should I offer support? So these excess thoughts start interfering with your work. So these emotional interference piles up and slows down your ability to work. You want to focus on work, but this trait gets in the way. You find yourself constantly worrying about how others feel or think about you, or you start to think, do they hate me? So these types of thoughts arise, and by the time you get home, you're mentally and emotionally drained. This is one of the core reasons why HSPs are set to have a harder time with life. Number 3, HSPs cannot force to be strong. It's not possible to just tell yourself, I am strong, and suddenly be mentally stronger. Often, sensitive people are told things like, you just need to toughen up, or you're just being too soft. But the truth is, the way HSPs respond to environment or stimuli is fundamentally different from other people on a brain level. And HSPs try to become mentally strong by force, but it just leads to more exhaustion and getting unwell at the end. So a really important point is, it's not train your mind to be strong. Rather, it's important to change your environment so it fits your HSP temperament, what you are born with. That's why living as an HSP can be a challenge generally, especially in Western society, for example. There's this dominant narrative: work hard, get a good job, be recognized, get a raise, make good money, get married, and be successful. And after you accomplish this, life is great. But if an HSP tries to follow this type of path, they most likely burn out, get unwell halfway through. And when that happens, they start blaming themselves. I'm trying so hard, but why can I not keep up? It must be my fault, I'm weak. Then they try to change themselves, forced to be mentally strong. But they can't, because the problem isn't about their effort. It's about their born temperament, of how they respond to stimuli or stress. So instead of pushing harder, HSPs need to find or create environments that suit them better. So this is like low stress workplaces, job dealing with less people, work that's not so fast paced, or work that allows quiet time or focus time alone. If you don't get away from the so-called normal environment, life just gets tough and you get drained all the time. So this is the situation you may be experiencing that makes you feel life is on hard mode all the time. So what I suggest you as a first step is to take the HSP Self Test to find out if you're an HSP. I've created an HSP test on my website so you can take it for completely free. I will also make a dedicated video on HSP Self Test and what the test results mean for you and how you can help guide your life. But for today, I won't get into that. But the key takeaway is this. First, find out whether you're an HSP or not. And if you are, start building an environment that supports your trait. Trying to force to be mentally strong will not work, unfortunately. So I just want to make this clear. By the way, I'm also a highly scoring HSP myself on the HSP test score. I spent about 10 years working in corporate companies, but I was always scared of being disliked and felt crushed when somebody raised their voice or pointed something out to me. And I was always overwhelmed with life. So I eventually found a way to do work independently, and I was able to somewhat build a life that suits my sensitive traits, and now things are much easier to handle. Anyway, let's summarize today's video. So number 4, summary of today's video of what is HSP. So first, HSP is not a personality, it's a temperament, which is something you're born with. And it's not something you can fix through effort or forcing to be mentally strong. It's also important to first identify whether or not you're an HSP. So ask yourself, was I a sensitive child? Do I tend to overthink or worry excessively? If so, then taking the HSP self-test is a good first step. And if you are an HSP, then adjusting your environment to fit your HSP trait is very important to live a less stressful life. A really eye-opening thought is that the struggles you've had all along in your life likely was not your fault. Realizing this can really shift how you view yourself and change how you carry your mind going forward in life so you can live a more balanced life. So here on this channel, I share information that is tailored to help HSPs, and it's based on psychology, and it gives you a simple and practical guide. So please make use of this channel to create a better life for yourself. That's it for today. This is Joe from Sensipath. See you next time. Thank you.